Hello and welcome to another update video about Cardano. In this video we're going to take a look at the Cardano price, the Cardano chart, and also Bitcoin and Ethereum briefly. What we can see, yesterday evening, at least UK time, we had a brief correction. Didn't take very long, but it was led by Bitcoin, it took Ethereum down, it took a lot of the altcoins down. A lot of the altcoins haven't recovered since then. There are a few that have recovered, for example BNB, to some degree VeChain, Polkadot, but some others just haven't recovered. Among them, Cardano, XRP, Ripple. So it was just a bit of a shakeout, but I made a brief video when it happened or just after it happened, said, this is so far just a normal correction. But the problem or the risk remains that we get a bigger sell-off if we can't get through the all-time high barriers. So we need to get through the 64, I think it's 64.K for Bitcoin to really invalidate that corrective scenario, which is still a valid one based on the Elliott Wave theory. But so far, it has recovered, Bitcoin at least, and some other altcoins as well. So I think this actually happened the last two weekends. So we're going to take a quick look at that as well. Let's start with Cardano. Cardano was at a bit of a discount then yesterday, and it came down the way actually just below $2.10. So we were briefly at $2.09, and when it was at $2.10 or so, I grabbed hold of some more. As you might know, I do dollar cost average into Cardano, and whenever we get a dip like that and it's not too fast, then I grab hold of some as well. So looking good so far with Cardano, just remaining within that triangle and still caught within that pattern. And a few days ago on the weekend actually we tried a breakout to the upside. I thought it would be a great weekend, but it really didn't. When Cardano tried to break out, Bitcoin came down and it took the whole market with it again. So yeah, that didn't happen. And since then, as you can see here on the chart, we actually made a beautiful bull flag, here on the 4-hour chart, came up, tried to break out of that triangle, failed, and then came down all the way, even below that low. And yesterday in that brief shakeout, we even dropped below that 215. Yeah, I think it's a bit high. We briefly dropped below that horizontal level. And now we seem to be able not to get above that, as you can see, just finding resistance there at the 215 level. We're just at the tipping point at the moment. So it looks like we're actually retesting that it might come down more from here, but in the end, it doesn't matter. It's just that noise that we have here. It's just that noise that we have here during the day. That's totally normal. But what we need to do is we need to finally get that breakout here to the upside to basically unleash Cardano from this sort of prison in that triangle. Yeah, so that is what it needs to do. And it's a bit painful to watch, but as you guys know, Cardano is growing. Cardano's time will come. And as always, it was a couple of weeks behind Ethereum. So, and if I take a look on I believe it was back on the daily chart, yes, we can still see, even though yesterday's drop hasn't changed anything, we can still see this ascending triangle on the RSI, which might eventually lead to a breakout to the upside. As you know, ascending triangles oftentimes break to the upside, and they can also be interpreted like that on an indicator like the RSI. So that gives me hope, even though they are never guaranteed to break to the upside, but that gives me hope. If that on the RSI breaks to the upside, it just indicates that we will get momentum to the upside. So let me know in the comments if you want to see that. I want it definitely. All the other indicators still a bit weak. MACD, I think, just got away with it. Didn't make a bearish cross yesterday, so we're still on our way up and might get to the zero line soon with the MACD. And that might take a few more days to get here to the zero line. And I know a lot of people expect Cardano not to break out before November. Now that could be the case, but I think, at least that apex here, that is at least sitting on the 25th or 26th of October, 24th, 25th. So something should be happening on the weekend. So on this weekend, coming weekend. So let's hope for the best here. We are at the moment, again, below the 20-day moving average, below the 50. We can see that the 20-day moving average isn't really providing any support or resistance at the moment. It seems like the price isn't really caring about the 20-day moving average. So it doesn't really matter, that 20-day moving average. It's neither providing support nor resistance. The price doesn't respect it. So I wouldn't look at the 20-day at the moment, at least not on the Cardano chart. So again, just a bit of up and down today. I think, let me take on the 1 hour chart if we can see any indicator what might happen today. So we have obviously come from that drop here yesterday. We are obviously in a bit of a quick short-term downtrend here at the moment. Seem to be struggling at the moment to get above that trend line again. But I think at the moment we're just sort of doing that. So yeah, I think, you know, we have come down yesterday, touched that level. So my feeling would be we come up once more and retest that 222 level. If we get above 222, 223, that should be a breakout. Not sure if that is going to happen really today. You can see that yesterday we came actually in the oversold range of the RSI. Still get short signals here, even on the daily, on the 1 hour time frame, and but I think we might have found a reversal point down here, because I would be surprised if we really break below that support line of the triangle. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin performing sort of well again after the drop yesterday. Bitcoin found support here yesterday on this, you know, we've been trading within this ascending channel that you can see here on the chart. So Bitcoin finds support there yesterday briefly, which was good that we found support there. Good support line, and I said, you know, I wouldn't be surprised even if we drop below that, if we find support here on this other diagonal support line, but we didn't have to go that far. So if you remember yesterday, we had that triangle on the chart. I did say a breakout is due. Yeah, a breakout is imminent. And we actually had a breakout just when we came into the apex. So we actually broke out of this apex. However, we dropped down. But since then, as you know, we recovered quite quickly. And now we are actually already back here at 62.5K. But it will be critical today. Can we get above 63K? So we are just on our way to it. You can already see that the green candles here get smaller from down here, smaller candles. So hopefully we're not running out of steam here. Overall, you know, it's sort of still looking okay for Bitcoin. Just in the overbought range again on the 4 hour chart. So we might be due for a little bit of a correction again. Here on the 1 hour chart, we have a bit more space to the upside, but on the 4 hour, we are a bit oversold now. But still, we could get up a bit more. But I think, you know, as I said, if we see that we can't get above these levels, and if we fail to make higher highs, I wouldn't be surprised if we come down hard at some point. It's just what it is. If you fail to make higher highs, people lose the sense that people think, you know, people start to think, you know, we don't have the momentum, we can't do it, and then you come down potentially quite hard. So we just need to be aware of it, and there is a potential even that if we break back into the channel here, that we actually continue to trade within this channel at this, and this might take us at one point to the all-time high. But that channel, if we really drop in here, that could be quite a hard drop actually also within the channel then to find support here at 45K, for example. Yeah, so that is a channel within which we have been trading now for a bit. It's quite a huge channel, and that would be a massive correction to come down to 50K again. But nothing unheard of in the crypto space. And that is Bitcoin. I think today we might make another attempt to the 63K, and it is really like the last key decision point that will help us understand if we, well, that will really help, that will really decide the next few months really in the crypto market, right? That will really decide the next few months in the crypto market. And looking at Ethereum, hasn't quite recovered from yesterday, a little bit. Bit similar, you know, we found support here on that line. That was the support line at 3,680. That was that former high that we marked back here in September and also here in October. And yeah, we found support there, luckily. Since then, we've been on our way up again, and we're making still a lower high here. So we would need to get to that $4,000 level, and maybe we do another attempt on that today. But as I said, a lot of the altcoins are struggling a bit. And as I just said, Cardano seems to go up further. So that is looking okay, but nothing exciting unless Cardano really does another attempt to break through that resistance level. And that's pretty much it for today. To finish the video, we could take a look at the ETH the ADA ETH chart. Let's take a quick look at that. And on the, so let me zoom out. There you go, that's the ADA ETH chart. And it looks a bit like that we are finding potentially some support here. And let me just go on to the daily chart. It seems to be that we are finding some support here on this line. You know, we had this ascending trend line. When you go up, basically ADA is outperforming ETH. And for a while now, we've outperformed, ETH has outperformed ADA. And during this period, always the haters are coming out, but it's just something normal. It's just always something normal. It happens all the time. So at some point there will be a reversal here, and we found support here, and yeah, we're still coming down further. But that is a key point here. There will be a turnaround at some point, and at that point then ADA will be outperforming ETH, and it's just therefore nothing unusual that at the moment or throughout a longer period now, ETH has outperformed ADA. So it's just that key decision point here. Watch that level. If we drop that, we can come down to that horizontal at 4637. And if we take a look, final look at ADA BTC, how that is looking, then we can see that here we actually lost support and we're dropping down further. But as I said, we could even come down to that level at 3150 and maybe come from here. But unfortunately here, we actually lost the support line. So that's a bit different than the last few times where we really had support on that ascending trend line. So that isn't looking good at the moment, but we started to develop a bullish divergence here. So maybe it's really the last drop here before we hit that line, and from here then ADA will start to outperform Bitcoin as well. As you know, as you might know, we're currently on our way into the alt season, so it might just be a few more weeks or months before we get into the alt season, and that is then when the money is flowing from Bitcoin into the altcoins, and some of the altcoins really get their big push, big pump, and that is, you know, when we can see this rotating again as well. All right, so hopefully you liked the video. If you did, please smash the like button. And if you want to follow me on this crypto journey, then please subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye.